Imagine the most chilling confession you've ever heard. Now imagine the confessor isn't begging for mercy, but offering comfort to those about to take their life. On November 2nd, 1984, in a North Carolina death chamber, a woman named Velma Barfield did something so unexpected, so profoundly unsettling, that it defied every expectation of justice, evil, and redemption. In her final hour, she revealed a secret that shattered assumptions and cast profound doubt on the very justice they were about to enact. Was she a saint or a monster? A victim or a manipulator? Her last moments will make you wonder if the truth behind Velma Barfield's crimes was far more complex than anyone dared to imagine. November 2nd, 1984, 1:15 a.m. In exactly 1 hour, a woman named Velma Barfield would make history. Not for her crimes, but for her final moments. Moments that would leave witnesses stunned and questions lingering for decades. This was Velma Barfield, grandmother, Sunday school teacher, and convicted serial killer. Her method, arsenic poisoning. Velma was convicted of the 1978 arsenic poisoning of her fiancé, Stuart Taylor. She later confessed to poisoning others, including her own mother, Lillian Bullard, and an elderly couple she cared for, Dolly and Montgomery Edwards. She also confessed to the murder of John Henry Lee. Reports indicate she admitted to these murders to cover up theft of money from her victims, which she used to support a prescription drug addiction. Her actions left a trail of slow, agonizing deaths, yet in her final hour, something transpired that defied all expectations. She wasn't screaming. She wasn't praying for mercy. Instead, she was comforting her executioners. An act so disarming, so utterly confounding, that it would force everyone in that death chamber to confront an uncomfortable truth about justice, evil, and redemption. Picture the most hardened criminals you can imagine. Now, picture their opposite. That's who the guards saw when they looked at Velma Barfield in her final hour. She was 52 years old, with soft gray hair, speaking calmly about forgiveness. For 6 years on death row, she had been known as Mama Velma, a beacon of solace, counseling other inmates, leading Bible studies, and writing letters of comfort to grieving families. Prison chaplains described a profound change in her. Yet, this same gentle woman had systematically administered poison to those who trusted her. While she was convicted of Stuart Taylor's murder, she admitted to the deaths of her own mother and others. So, which was the truth? The saint or the monster? Some psychological theories at the time suggested a possible dissociative state, raising the unsettling possibility that there might have been distinct aspects to Velma Barfield's personality. 1:15 a.m. Central Prison, North Carolina. Death row, cell number 7. Velma Barfield sat calmly on her narrow bunk, wearing the standard white execution gown, her gray hair neatly combed, her Bible open in her lap. But something extraordinary was happening. The guards noticed she wasn't just calm. She was comforting them. "Are you okay?" she asked Officer Martinez, noticing his visible distress. "This must be hard for you." The condemned woman was consoling her executioners. Warden Nathan Rice, who had overseen dozens of executions, later described Velma's behavior as almost otherworldly. She seemed genuinely concerned about everyone except herself. 1:18 a.m. Velma began speaking, though not to anyone visibly present. "I know, Billy," she said quietly, looking toward an empty corner of her cell. "I know you're scared, but it's time to let go. We both have to let go." The guards exchanged glances. Was she speaking to an unseen entity, perhaps a manifestation of an internal conflict, or a deeply held personal belief? 1:22 a.m. Velma made an unusual request. She asked to see the execution chamber before her time came. Not to plead or protest, but to pray. The request was so unprecedented that Warden Rice had to check regulations. There was nothing prohibiting it. Standing in the room where she would die in less than an hour, Velma did something that left hardened prison officials deeply moved. She prayed for everyone who would be involved in her execution, the medical technicians, the guards, the warden. She asked for forgiveness for them. Then she added, "I also want to pray for Billy. He's been carrying this burden for so long." Was this the ultimate manipulation, a calculated performance designed to generate sympathy? Or was it a glimpse into a profound internal struggle? 1:28 a.m. Back in her cell, Velma was allowed her final meal. Velma's request, cheese doodles and a Coca-Cola. The simplicity was striking, almost childlike. When asked why, she gave an answer that hinted at a deeper narrative, They remind me of being little, before everything went wrong, before Billy had to exist. As she ate, Velma began talking about her victims, not with the clinical detachment often associated with some offenders, but with what appeared to be genuine grief. She named each one, spoke of their families, and what they had meant to their loved ones. Lillian Bullard, her own mother. I remember how she used to hum while cooking Sunday dinner. She trusted me completely, even at the end. Stuart Taylor, her fiancé, he was so excited about our wedding. He'd already picked out his suit. I can still see his smile. Dolly Edwards, she called me her angel. She wrote in her diary about how grateful she was for my care. Then, she said something that resonated deeply with those present. I love them all. That's what makes this so terrible. I truly loved them, and Billy killed them anyway. Was this genuine remorse, or a masterful final performance? 1:45 a.m. Time was running short. Outside Central Prison, candlelight vigils clashed with death penalty supporters. Inside, something unprecedented was happening. 1:52 a.m. The final preparations began. Velma was escorted from her cell for the last time. But as she walked down the corridor, she wasn't being dragged. She wasn't pleading. She was walking calmly, as if heading to church. And she was still taking care of others. To Officer Jackson, who was visibly upset, she said, "This isn't your fault. You're just doing your job. God doesn't blame you for this." To the chaplain who would stay with her until the end, "Thank you for helping me find peace. I hope Billy finds it too." To Warden Rice, who had become visibly affected. "You've been fair to me all these years. I know this is hard for you too." In her final minutes, the condemned woman was comforting everyone around her. Was this genuine compassion, or a profound act of psychological manipulation? 1:57 a.m. The death chamber at Central Prison was sterile, clinical. Medical equipment hummed quietly. 24 witnesses watched from behind glass. Reporters, prison officials, clergy members, family members of victims. As Velma was guided to the gurney, she did something that stopped everyone. She looked directly at each witness, making eye contact, as if she wanted to remember every face, or wanted them to remember hers. 2:05 a.m. The straps were secured. The floor was in place. Warden Rice approached for the final statement. Velma turned toward the witnesses, her voice clear and strong. "I know that everybody has gone through a lot of pain, especially the families of those who died. I am sorry, and I want to thank everybody who has been supporting me all these 6 years. I go to meet my God. I'm ready." But then she added something that truly revealed the layers of her final moments. "I also want to say goodbye to Billy. Thank you for protecting me when I couldn't protect myself, but it's time for both of us to rest." Was she talking to another personality? Or was this the final, masterful act of a deceiver? 2:12 a.m. Warden Rice gave the signal. The execution began. Sodium pentothal flowed into her bloodstream first, rendering her unconscious. Then pancuronium bromide to stop her breathing. Finally, potassium chloride to stop her heart. But here's what the witnesses would never forget. As the drugs took effect, Velma Barfield smiled. Not a grimace, not fear, not pain. A peaceful smile, as if she was seeing something beautiful, something the rest of them couldn't see. 2:15 a.m. She was pronounced dead. America had executed its first woman in 22 years. But the story doesn't end there. Because something unprecedented happened in that death chamber. Velma Barfield's final act, organ donation. Her corneas gave sight to 2 strangers. Her skin helped burn victims heal. In death, she gave life instead of taking it. The question that haunts us still. Did we execute a serial killer who found genuine redemption? Did we execute a woman burdened by a complex psychological state where a different personality was believed to be responsible for the heinous acts? Or did we execute exactly who we intended to, a master manipulator who used every tool at her disposal, including perceived mental illness and expressions of faith, to influence those around her until her final breath? The full truth of Velma Barfield died with her on November 2nd, 1984. But her final hour revealed something profound about the human capacity for both darkness and something resembling grace. This remarkable display was even noted by Warden Rice, who oversaw Velma's execution. He later wrote in his memoir that in 30 years of corrections work, nothing had prepared him for a condemned prisoner who spent her final hour taking care of everyone else. So what do you think? Was Velma Barfield's transformation real, or was she playing the ultimate long con? The answer might ultimately depend on something we may never fully understand. the profound mystery of human consciousness itself, and whether redemption is truly possible, even for the most condemned among us. Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this discussion thought-provoking, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next upload.